The civil case against the Laundries, Brian Laundrie's family from the Petito family, the family of Gabby Petito, has come to an end. Quote saying, after a long day of mediation, a confidential resolution has been reached between the parents of Gabby Petito and the parents of Brian Laundrie and attorney Stephen Bertolino, to which all parties reluctantly agree in order to avoid further legal expenses and prolonged personal conflict. Our hope is to close this chapter of our lives to allow us to move on and continue to honor the legacy of our beautiful daughter, Gabby. It's one that was set to go to trial coming up in May, but that will no longer be the case. Joining me to discuss, attorney Eric Faddis. Were you surprised that they've now reached a settlement in this? It is confidential. We'll talk about that in a second, though. But what's your thoughts on where it ended?
Yeah, I thought that this case, as inflammatory as it was, could be settled. It was settleable for a number of reasons, and the fact that it came out now, short of trial in terms of a timeline, that's kind of to be expected. A little bit of a head scratcher in terms of what the settlement is and who's going to pay it. That part is still a question to me.
Was this about money at all, though? I mean, from some reports that we saw, it doesn't look like the Laundries really had very much to go after, quite honestly. So at the end of the day, if that was a goal, you know, kind of out of luck there. And on top of all the attorney fees that are going on here, was this more so kind of a something in principle where it was, we didn't get to take this to criminal court, you didn't get to be found guilty there? Is this more of a, hey, we're behind closed doors, and I don't know, maybe there was some admissions of guilt that are now sealed away?
I'm sure it probably feels like a moral win for the Petito family, and rightly so. Like you said, they really didn't get any sort of closure or a sense of the other side admitting wrongdoing on the criminal matter. And so was this sort of a bit of a, I hate to say consolation prize, but kind of another way to seek closure for this horrific event? Probably, I think so. But certainly there's got to be a financial aspect to this, and like I said, the Landrys don't really have any money. Is there some malpractice insurance that the attorney had that's going to pay out a portion of this, or is it really just kind of a non-economic type victory? That part is hard to ascertain because the
Yeah.
settlement's confidential.
And that's what I wonder about. If it's a non-economic type case, why leave this sealed? I mean, why not say, look, we will drop these charges, but you have to go say this and make this statement and admit to the world what occurred. Or does that open up then possibilities of criminal prosecution? I guess if one is to go out publicly and state that sort of thing, that may not be the most advantageous for the laundries if they were to agree to something like that.
Yeah, part of it, I think, is the Petito's attorney, and like you said, the attorney's fees are just mounting. This matter has been going on for quite some time,
Hmm.
and how are they going to get paid? And it's at least possible. Like, I'm just speculating. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it would make sense for the attorney to go to their clients, the Petitos, and say, "Hey, look, I can't go through a whole multi-week nationally publicized trial for free.
Hmm.
Maybe there's some other outcome that both sides can live with." And that's sometimes how these settlements feel.
Do you think this was more so a settlement that, obviously we're just speculating, we don't know, but is this a settlement that came from both the parties, meaning the families themselves, the Laundries and the Petitos? Would they have kept going at it, you think, if the finances weren't part of this? Or was this one attorney coming to the other going, look, here's where we're both sitting on this, do you want to keep working for free or not?
Yeah, like the Petito family themselves, they didn't have much incentive to settle it, especially if there's not a whole lot of money coming to them. Why not just take it all the way and nationally publish all of the horrific information regarding Gabby Petito's death?
Mhm.
And so uh, their incentive is not huge to settle the matter, and I've got to imagine this might have been a client control issue where the attorneys kind of came to their folks and said, "Hey, look, this is the legal reality, this is the financial reality, and you all are better off just kind of calling it good and trying to move on with your lives."
Yeah, because ultimately, what was the goal of the lawsuit against the Laundries from the Petitos? I mean, I can't see them, this being a financial, boon, or like, oh, we're gonna go, we're going to get a couple $1 million and then that's going to make us whole. I mean, nothing's going to make them whole. Their daughter's dead. But ultimately what was the goal other than pointing the finger and going, you are responsible for something here? Is it just to own up? You know?
I'm just thinking like if I had a family member who was taken so egregiously for no good reason, and then the person who appeared to be responsible killed themselves, so they couldn't criminally prosecute that person. Gosh, I would feel this gaping chasm in my
Hmm.
soul that I need to kind of avenge my lost one's death. And so is that part of it, to just kind of like get out in the open, not only what happened or tried to, but also the fact that the Laundrie family allegedly was being deceptive about this. The attorney was allegedly being deceptive about it. And to just sort of get some public acknowledgement and some personal closure through trying to hold someone accountable to some measure. I've got to imagine that was behind the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's like and mission accomplished. I think they've done it just through the hearings and through the publicity of it all. Of we saw what happened. We saw what was going on. I think the public opinion is in on all of that. So if that was the goal, maybe they went in at 100 miles an hour because that's what they're feeling early on, and now time has settled, and maybe it is exactly what they said. They're ready just to move on, and hopefully everyone can in some sort of peace. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks